Hello, my name is LJ Bothell, and I am your instructor from Shoreline Community College for online classes. Let me tell you a little bit about myself and my methods and a little bit about learning styles so I can help you get as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible in classes you get to take with me. First off, this is what I look like. And I've been teaching for about 8 years now. I've been teaching at Seattle Central College, used to be called Seattle Central Community College, and I've been teaching at Shoreline for over a year now. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I love Starbucks, I love animals, and I love traveling. I have a bunch of education, a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts from the University of Washington, an AAS in Graphic Design based on print design, a certificate in Web Design, a certificate in Web Development, and I'm currently studying for a Master's in Education, Learning, and Technology. In the workplace, I've done all sorts of stuff. I've been a permanent employee, i.e. hired and gaining full benefits at a job. I've been a temporary employee doing short gigs from anywhere from a day to a month to 2 months. I've been a freelancer where I've done my own work as a designer, finding my own clients and so on. So I have a whole variety of experience that I try to bring to my teaching. My mission and values with teaching are that I love it. I love teaching, I love sharing information, and I'm so pleased to get the chance to share information with you. My goals are to share current skills and abilities and tips for the current marketplace for jobs. You also can use them in your classrooms. I try to encourage professional workflow and communications so that you have an idea of how to use different tools and how to communicate with them in the workplace. And I like to help students help themselves in their preparations, finding resources, learning new and interesting ways to get things done, and so on. My methods of teaching are pretty robust. Now, I usually teach in-person classes and online classes. So for online classes, which is what I'm focusing on here, I basically want to help folks enjoy learning as much as I can. Now, some online classes will allow for a wide variety of different forms of information. I share information in as many different ways as I can as appropriate to the class. I focus on universal design of learning, meaning that learning comes in different ways. Everyone picks up information differently. Some people are more visual and kinesthetic. Some people need to hear information more than once. Some folks will, like all of that, but they really need time to sit down with the book and highlight information, take their own notes. Most people are have a variety of those. I also do what I can in my classes to use open materials as much as I can. Sometimes I have a class where a book is required for the program in order to gain specific objectives. But otherwise, I do what I can to share a lot of notes, a lot of information, and to share tutorials, links, and tips so that students don't have to buy anything they don't absolutely have to. I do my best to prepare materials with an eye to accessibility. I'm always learning and growing, but my goal is that my videos, like you're watching and listening to now, will have captioning in them. I'm also trying to prepare things so that I can move slowly. You can see activities and tasks that I'm demonstrating. So even if for some reason you're not able to hear me speaking, you'll be able to tell what I'm doing. And if you're not able to see what I'm doing, hopefully I'll be fairly clear. My goal is to be very clear in what I'm saying so that you can work with that and whoever is helping you with visual matters. Basically, what I do try to do when I'm sharing information about a program we're learning, about information we need to discuss, and so on, I share demonstrations. I may use PowerPoint demonstrations. I may use video demonstrations like this one. I may have tips and tutorial links that you can go to online to try the work yourself. Try to come with a variety of different things. Just so you know, communication-wise, I work to be a very good communicator with you guys. I'm available every day by email. I usually will take one day off on a weekend. Everyone kind of needs a day away from email, so it might be Saturday or Sundays. But otherwise, I check my email a couple, 3 times every day, and I respond as quickly as I'm able to, given that I have enough information to work with and can help you out with what you need. I also will have, for online classes, an on-site Shoreline Community College or an online office time each week. So for instance, during the quarter when I teach at Shoreline, I will set aside a day where I can be in one of the computer labs for a half an hour to an hour. The time will be set in each specific online class. And if I'm not on campus, then I will instead use something like Panopto to have a live short period of office hour time where students can come on and ask me questions in person and get updated information. As I've indicated, I'll try to have information as accessible as possible. So some of my videos, like this one, will be based on PowerPoints. That way I can make sure that I've constructed the information and cover everything I need to for you. Others will be demonstrations of how to use a tool where I will open a program and you'll see my mouse cursor moving, and I'll be showing you where to click and what things should look like when certain tasks happen, and so on. Again, I will work to have closed captioning in all of my videos. I'll be working with YouTube and with the community college. And I also will strive for my tasks and actions in any video I do to be fairly self-evident. In videos and demonstrations, I basically focus on introducing whatever the topic is and try to set boundaries of what I'm expecting us to cover in that demo, so you kind of know where the beginning and end of things are. I will demonstrate usually a primary method of how to accomplish whatever the task or action is. I may show another version or two, but I am going to work to try to keep things fairly simple so that I don't confuse folks by having 2 or 3 methods floating around. So if you do come up with another method to accomplish the same way of doing the work, or you see a different method in your book and in tutorials, that's great. There's rarely only one way to do stuff, but I'll basically try to keep a fairly simple and clean way for you to see the activities happening. And then finally, in videos, I will usually pause on occasion so that you have a moment where you can, pause the video, decide to go backwards and listen to something over again, or stare at the screen in order to take some notes, to grab the URL for some information you need, and so on. Learning styles is something I want to share with you if you don't already know about them. Learning styles, which is now being called multiple intelligences, essentially is a concept where every one of us absorbs new information in different ways. It's not meant to label you or me or anyone else, but you may find in your own academic career and in the workplace, you pick up certain kinds of information more easily than others. You may be a person who really needs to see visual examples of something in order for it to really click with you. And then you'll also do the reading and you'll ask questions and so on. You may be a person that you could do that, but until you actually give it a physical try and start building muscle memories with your fingers on a keyboard or whatever, it won't work as well for you. Some folks don't really care for lectures. They get really sleepy, or things kind of go in one ear and out the other. So it's nice to know someone's showing some information, but they really want to spend time with their book. They want to spend time with examples. They want to plow through things on their own and take notes in their own way. These are all perfectly valid, and you need to find out which one or ones is your strength. For instance, my strength tends to be visual and kinesthetic. I do like being in a classroom. I do like lecture discussions where the instructor is showing a demonstration of information, the graphs, the how to get something done, and I like trying it for myself and finding the information so that I can master it. But I also sometimes have a little trouble visualizing something like the spelling of a person's name if it's a unique name, so I'll have someone tell me audibly how it's spelled, and that helps me picture the name so I can grab it. So I have to pick up several ways to learn. So the reason this is interesting for you to know is because if you've had areas in the past in classes where you just didn't seem to get the info you wanted, you really didn't like the class because it felt like drudgery, a lot of this has to do with how you get at the information. So when you know something about your own learning style, that will help you focus on your strengths and how you get information. And if information is being provided in a way to you that isn't really your first line of defense, so to speak, you can look for alternative ways to access that same information that supports you, that makes learning more fun. And that's the goal. Learning new information and using it really, to me, is supposed to be fun. So what I have down here is a link that's Edutopia Multiple Intelligences Self-Assessment. I can't actually have you click the link, most likely, but you can look that up on Google or Bing, whatever search engine you like. You'll be able to find it, and it gives a short self-assessment that asks you to answer what seems to be a bunch of random questions. But these questions will help see what way you like to get at information and what way information sticks with you best. And it could just be very helpful. So anyway, here's what the website looks like at this point in time. Multiple Intelligences Self-Assessment, and hopefully that will be helpful to you. So at this point, that's a little bit about me. I am looking forward to having class with you and to answering your questions and to sharing loads of great information with you. So I hope you have a fabulous quarter. Please feel free to email me during the quarter if you discover an additional way to access the information I haven't shared. If you see something I can improve on, because I'm always working to improve, and just to say hi. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.